Everyone and their mother is building SUVs these days, and why not? It's what the market's demanding, so let them eat cake. Bentley, Aston Martin and even Rolls-Royce now produces a super SUV, and this Lamborghini Urus, the latest in the breed. But unlike many of its competitors, this isn't Lamborghini's first 4x4. Created from a stillborn military project, this extreme machine packs the same V12 engine from a Lamborghini Countach. The LM002 is the embodiment of the Raging Bull's rebellious spirit, breaking conventions and not giving a damn. Obviously, these two Lamborghinis were built with two very different purposes in mind. The LM002 was designed to go and prospect for oil in the desert with space for pickaxes in the back and bespoke tyres. This Lamborghini Urus, it's more about family life, albeit at 190 miles per hour. Definitely for those parents who are unwilling to surrender the keys to their supercar. Whilst this is an SUV and you can fit people in the back and maybe even a dog in the boot, the Urus is very well equipped to attain the title of super SUV. You see, under the bonnet is a 4-litre twin-turbocharged V8 engine that produces 641 brake horsepower. That's more than a Lamborghini Huracan with its V10. 0 to 62 miles per hour is dispatched in just 3.6 seconds thanks to an advanced all-wheel drive system which can send up to 85% of the power rearwards. Like most modern performance vehicles, the Urus has a series of selectable drive modes via this anima switch down here. You can select between sand and snow modes, but then also crank things up to Corsa, and that's where the car squats down, tightens up its suspension, weights up the steering and increases its throttle response. And it's at this point that it turns from family SUV to ballistic missile. It's like a freight train once it gets going. The torque is utterly relentless, and it's available from as low as 2,500 RPM thanks to being turbocharged. Obviously the downside is that maybe it doesn't sound quite as orchestral as any other Lamborghini before it. The audio is slightly synthetic, it's fair to say. I suppose that term super SUV is a bit of a paradox really, because SUVs have all of the wrong ingredients for making a performance vehicle. They sit up too high, they weigh too much, they've got all this other gubbins and luxuries in the car that a supercar just usually does without because its pure focus is on performance. This has to have that duality. But Lamborghini appear to have worked a bit of magic into this car because it handles itself really well despite weighing 2.2 tons and being a high-riding vehicle. There's certainly a bit of initial inertia as you dive the car into a corner, but the steering is precise and the car feels plenty agile. The Urus is certainly a confidence-inspiring car to drive quickly, not least because it disguises its speed with all of its serenity and creature comforts, but also because you can feel that all-wheel drive system shuffling the power around as and when it's needed to meet all of your traction needs. Also, you have those huge carbon ceramic stoppers on the car. Those come standard, and the front discs are actually amongst the largest carbon brakes on sale today. The Urus relishes the challenges of a winding mountain pass as much as it does take motorway journeys with absolute ease. It's this duality that we haven't really seen in a modern Lamborghini before. There's certainly something a little alien to relaxing in a raging bull on a long journey. But hats off to Lamborghini for creating one of the most devastatingly rapid family cars without shattering the spines of all of its occupants. Its looks may be a little Marmite, there are some wafts of Audi to this car, and its £160,000 starting price is a fair chunk of change, but you can't help but admire the success of Lamborghini's engineering and sheer bullishness. Last year it outsold the Aventador and Huracan combined. Just like the Cayenne did for Porsche, the Urus will secure the future of this legendary manufacturer, and for that, it has to be applauded.